Chapter 48. In the eastern southern reaches of the Kingdom of Tempest, a lone figure stood in a luxurious white formal suit, gazing out of his window while cradling a glass of wine. As he pondered, the door to his cozy office creaked open, drawing his attention. "What is it, Frey?" queried Demon Lord Clayman, his voice carrying a tone of authority. "We've carried out the deed, as you commanded," Frey responded with a heavy sigh, his expression betraying the weight of his actions. "Marvelous," Clayman remarked with a sinister grin. Turning to face Frey, Clayman's eyes bore into him as he issued a warning. "You wouldn't dare to betray me, would you? Remember, you're bound to me, especially with Milam under my sway." "Of course not, my lord. With Milam in your control, I have no choice but to comply," Frey conceded, his demeanor submissive. "Hey, you can't deceive me any longer. That person and I have taken precautions to ensure her loyalty," Clayman revealed, hinting at the involvement of a third party in their schemes. Yggdrasil, the legendary True Dragon suppression tool, was a creation forged with the sole purpose of capturing these powerful beings. Such an artifact held immense significance and power in the realm. With a cold determination in his eyes, Clayman approached Milam, his intentions clear. He punched Milam, resulting in Milam stumbling across the room. However, Clayman did not stop the vile act and continued this until he is satisfied. "That's the price you pay for underestimating me, labeling me a mere rookie demon lord," Clayman taunted Milam, who remained silent and unable to respond. His laughter echoed through the room, tinged with malice. "You look pathetic, Milam." As Clayman prepared to deliver a kick to Milam's unconscious face, Frey intervened, attempting to halt Clayman's cruel actions. However, despite Frey's efforts, Clayman remained undeterred. "She's nothing but a puppet now," Clayman remarked coldly, his resolve unshaken as he continued his relentless assault on the defenseless Milam. Frey's attempts to intervene proved futile in the face of Clayman's determination to get revenge to Milam. Despite his relentless assault, Milam remained unmoved, neither retaliating nor showing any sign of pain. Under Benimaru's leadership, Team Kurenai flourished into a formidable force, comprised of ogre mages, ogres, and a select few from Benimaru's tribe who had transcended into fully fledged Kijins. However, despite the exceptional prowess of his comrades, Benimaru remained at the apex of power within the group. Following Shizu San's evolution, Benimaru underwent a transformation of his own, ascending from a Kijin to the revered status of an Oni. This elevated him to a position of unmatched authority and strength, solidifying his role as the undisputed leader of Team Kurenai. 3,000 hobgoblins and goblin warlords. Green numbers. 5,000 high orcs led by Geld. Yellow numbers. And Dragonutes led by Gabble. Hiryu. And now protecting Tempest 2,000 Yamagari members led by Shion. I guess this is a good thing that resulted from the greater casualty of that war. After assessing our numbers, I turned to Benimaru and asked, "Can you win?" He simply laughed confidently, as if his answer were obvious. I replied to his laughter with a nod of understanding. "Lord Rimuru, we are ready," Benimaru announced with determination. Alvis spoke up, "We will never forget your kindness." Sufia also chimed in, "We will smash Clayman's underlings without any worry." "So, great Rimuru, you can have Clayman yourself. There is no need to show them mercy, Benimaru." Shion shouted passionately. "Please return home safe," Shuna said with concern in her voice. "Kufufufu, trash should be disposed of before they start to smell," Diablo added with his signature dark humor. "I'll show them hell so they'll never defy you again," Benimaru declared confidently. Fobio lowered his head in agreement, and the entire army of Tempest followed suit. "Now, win," I commanded. I began channeling the transportation magic. A grandiose and big spatial magic circle appeared, enveloping all of the army stationed here. And after the magic circle dispersed and the spell finished, the army disappeared instantly from our sight. "I will return promptly to your side," Diablo asserted once more, his confidence unwavering. "It's fine, take your time," I reassured him, though his persistence was notable. "I will surely return promptly to your side," he repeated firmly, leaving no room for doubt. His certainty in completing the mission quickly was evident, and I couldn't help but awkwardly laugh at the insistence of his words. Yume, Mayulan, and their party, accompanied by Diablo, departed for the Farmus Kingdom. Meanwhile, I arranged for an audience with the Walpurgis and decided to bring Shion and Ranga along. However, there was one pressing issue at hand: how to appease the voracious appetite for action of the dragon in front of me. Veldora, upon hearing of something interesting happening, promptly closed his manga and interrupted my piece. This was typical of him. insisting that he should be the one to lead the charge against Clayman's army or attend the Walpurgis. Veldora's enthusiasm was palpable. "I've told you before, Veldora. You are Tempest's defense. Who else can I rely on but you?" I reminded him firmly. "But isn't it cool? You'd be the final trump card." I emphasized each syllable, hoping to reason with him. Veldora's eyes glittered with excitement as he echoed, "Final trump card." I repeated slowly, emphasizing each syllable, "Final trump card." A grin spread across Veldora's face as he echoed the words, "Final trump card." Then, with a hearty laugh, he declared, "It must have slipped my mind, Rimuru." Kuahahaha. With that, he left me with a resounding laughter echoing in the room, his excitement infectious as always. Now then, I have to arrange my Bloomend agents too. If I recall correctly, Diablo said that he friendly recruited some friends and he put the 3 most reliable ones in my office. If I remember correctly, I also put Masayuki in my office for interrogation. Put them? I questioned in my mind as I opened the door. Before me, the primordial white, violet, and yellow were tied and bruised, displaying clear signs of Diablo's handiwork. Despite being tied up, yellow and violet still managed to muster enough energy to engage in a heated argument with each other. Their voices echoed through the room as they bickered back and forth, seemingly unfazed by their precarious situation. Did Diablo even talk to this ladies? I can imagine he only dragged them here and beat them if they refuse. "You are?" White queried. "I am Demon Lord Rimuru, Diablo's master," I replied, my gaze sweeping the room until it settled on Masayuki, who was sulking in the corner farthest away from the demoness trio. Help!" Masayuki's plea echoed through the room, his trembling fingers clutching desperately at his bindings. It was clear that he was terrified of the trio, and I could empathize with his fear. After calming everyone down, I approached the demoness trio and gently untied their restraints, signaling my willingness to engage in negotiations. I would like to work with you," I began tentatively, my voice carrying a hint of uncertainty. The skepticism of the demoness trio was transparent as yellow and purple exchanged a meaningful glance, silently communicating their doubts. In exchange of, they both asked simultaneously, their eyes narrowing with anticipation. Aware of their reputation as primordial demons of the underworld, I understood the gravity of the situation. Demons operated on contracts, and any offer I made would need to be carefully considered to avoid any missteps that could result in dire consequences, possibly even endangering my own life. "Let's see, a name to each one of you in a permanent body." I made it sound like it is not something big, but their eyes widened in an evident shock of surprise. Their eyes widened in evident shock and surprise, revealing that this was something they had longed for their entire existence. At that moment, I realized the profound impact my proposal held for them, though I hadn't initially grasped the magnitude of their desire. "Seems like you want this reward," I remarked, noting their reactions to my proposal. Crafting a doll from materials suitable for demonic aura to manifest, I presented it to them with a nonchalant demeanor. "See," I said, downplaying the significance of the moment. To me, it was merely creating dolls, but for them, it was the realization of a long-held desire. "We will accept your terms," White stated decisively, while yellow and purple, though initially skeptical, ultimately couldn't refuse the contract I had presented. After some hesitant back and forth, yellow and purple also manifested into the 3 dolls I had created. Each one of them entered the core of their respective dolls, which then began to take on form. Cells, organs, tissues, muscles, and finally skin formed before my eyes. As each one woke up from their doll-like state, it marked the beginning of a new chapter for them. "You'll be Testarossa, Carrera, and Ultima. Serve me in fulfillment of your names," I declared, watching as each of them kneeled before me, now adorned in formal attire befitting captains of the rebirth of the most dangerous and fearsome group in Tempest, the Black Numbers. After our negotiations with Testarossa, Carrera, and Ultima concluded, I turned my attention to Masayuki. I disclosed to him my status as an Otherworlder, explained his situation under Yuki's control, and outlined the impending war that needed to be addressed. Despite his initial fear, I asked Masayuki to join a team tasked with investigating Bloomend, alongside Fuse and Testarossa, Cian, and Moss. Initially hesitant, Masayuki found himself unable to refuse when Testarossa cast a spell on him with a disarming smile. With that settled, Testarossa and the others departed for Bloomend, leaving the groundwork completed. I provided bodies and names for the archdemons Moss, Veyron, Agera, Aspirit, Zonda, Cian, and Venom, establishing them as the 7 greater demon generals within the ranks of the Black Numbers. Taking a moment to rest, I changed into my demon lord attire while Apito and Zejin served tea, as Shuna was busy with the subjugation team. As we awaited our invitation to the Walpurgis, I gathered with Romulus, Beretta, Trainee-san, Shion, Ranga, and even Veldora in my cozy office. We passed the time with idle conversation and anticipation for the events to come. After a brief wait, the dimensional door materialized before us, its grand display of appearance sending a shiver down my spine. With horror-themed designs carved along its edges, it opened to reveal Misery standing on the other side. Lord Rimuru and Lord Romulus, Lord Guy awaits your presence, she announced, prompting me to glance over at Romulus and the others to ensure they were ready. With their silent signals confirming that it was indeed time, I nodded in acknowledgement. This way, please, Misery said, gesturing toward the dimensional door with a sway of her hand. Let's go, I said, leading our party as we stepped through the door and into the dimension of the Walpurgis meeting. As I watched Tomai snore away, completely oblivious to the world around her, I couldn't help but shake my head in disbelief. I thought this girl would be a powerful ally. Well, expectations shattered, I muttered to myself. With Tomai being as useful as a paperweight in a windstorm, I couldn't resist a wry chuckle. Guess it's better than being lonely, I reasoned, though I couldn't help but wonder if a pet rock would have been more helpful on our journey. Embarking on my journey with Ranga-san's trusty pack of wolves by my side, I calculated that it would take us at least 3 weeks to reach Ingrasha. Thanks to their remarkable abilities, they could even conceal themselves within my shadow when venturing into bustling cities, making our travels much more convenient. Our route would take us through various western countries before finally arriving in Ingrasha. From there, we would continue on to Ruberios, where we would board a boat bound for Raiju's headquarters. It was shaping up to be quite the odyssey. I wonder what's happening on Tempest right now. To be continued.